Hi, I'm Sgoluppi. The first part of the video you're seeing is my studio. It shows short clips of some of the work in progress on the interstice paintings that make up the series of 13. It also shows the completed paintings in the studio. I worked on the paintings over a period of about 4 to 5 months. The second part of the video shows all of the individual completed paintings. My paintings are classed as abstract for reference purposes, but in fact the impulse for a lot of my work comes from abstract ideas, so it's always debatable whether the paintings are abstract or representational. The basis for this series is rooted in my interest in the idea of in-betweens, junctures, disjunctures, gaps, repetition, language, and words as images, hence the title Interstice. I paint in layers, and for this series I wanted each canvas to be painted sequentially in exactly the same way. So to do this I moved from one canvas to the next until all 13 had the same painted marks. When each canvas's turn was complete, they were then rotated 90 degrees clockwise so that the next layer could start. The rotation was so that they would have free orientation, and the rotation helped keep them multi-directional. In other words, they could be hung any way up. This gives them an interactive dimension so the person exhibiting them has a choice of which way they are to hang. The method of painting of outlines should, in theory, have resulted in duplicate paintings. However, the paintings developed small differences due to short time gaps and other factors between one canvas and the next, and the time it took me to get from the paint loading to the canvas. An example of this was how the paint fluidity behaved on each canvas, sometimes dripping more on one than on the others. There were also, of course, similarities, so between the two situations I had a daily ongoing dilemma, because there were occasions when one painting behaved as an individual, demanding a particular action, but any action performed on one had to work on them all. On occasion it seemed as if the canvases were ganging up on me, almost as if they would defy me to take the next step. At that point I started to refer to them as the collective. At other times they also began to take on individual characteristics that would demand a response from me in the next application of paint, so it wasn't always easy to continue being true to the intention of them all being treated the same. Finally, acknowledgement goes to Carl Ingalls of Embossing Technologies for technical assistance while I was developing a special experimental method of applying paint to the canvases. Thank you for watching and for listening. Bye.